Welcome to the Factory of the Future. In this series, we investigate 5 key areas that can help the manufacturing industry to drive down production costs while driving up market productivity levels and competitiveness.
Hello, my name is Gillian and I'm a D365 supply chain consultant at HSO. So the majority of my work focuses on warehousing, and in this video we're going to look at a purchase order receipting process for the warehouse. More specifically, we're going to look at this process using GS1 barcodes. So the background to this is that it's actually fairly common for businesses to use advanced shipping notices, or ASNs, which are great, and they obviously bring an amount of automation to the process. Advanced shipping notices are, of course, sent in advance before the goods are received at the warehouse door, and they contain all the information around what is actually going to be delivered. So this will be information such as that which we have in front of us now: the item number, license plate numbers, quantities, and if it's a batch tracked product, then the batch number. Suppliers will usually need to provide this information in such a way that we can import it through our data management framework in D365, so integrations are often set up in order for this to be possible. The GS1 barcodes can help take this automation one step further by removing that need to have the data in D365 before the delivery occurs. So in my example, I have a pallet label here where the supplier has very helpfully listed the details of what's going to be on the pallet. We can see obviously the actual barcode there, and then we've got the item number, we've got the batch number, we've got a license plate number and the quantity. Underneath the barcode, we've got the long string of data. So this is each of those other pieces of information you can see on here: the item number, batch number, license plate and quantity, separated with forward slashes, which was defined in the system before by myself. And each of these fields is defined by an identifier in that long string of data. So the system knows that these fields need to be populated because of the identifiers. And I'm using a fairly simple setup here with a batch tracked item, but we can also include other information on this barcode, such as manufacturing dates of that batch, expiry dates of that batch. There's lots of other pieces of information you can include, but I've kept this fairly basic. In addition, if this barcode is potentially going to get very long because you have got a lot of data, QR codes can be used. So QR codes are fully accepted by D365, and if that's something your handheld devices can cope with scanning, then they can be a great option too. So all I'm going to do here is open my warehousing app. And I have got menu items here for inbound, outbound and stock management processes. So I'm going to click on my inbound, and I've created a GS1 purchase order receiving and put away menu items. So I could simply have done a receiving and we could do the put away at another step, but I've put them together so you can see it all in one go for this demo. So again, this is a one-time setup, along with the rest of the GS1 setup. It's a one-time setup, so it's quite simple. It's going to ask me for my purchase order number. If our supplier had wanted, he could have put the purchase order number on as a barcode, so our warehouse worker could have scanned that. I'm just going to type that in for today. And then it's going to ask me to scan my item. But instead of scanning my item, I'm going to scan my pallet label, which has got my GS1 barcode on it. And the system knows what the barcode is telling us. So at this particular stage, all it wants to ask us is this the right item number and is this the quantity? And we know that yes, it is that computer cable with that item number. And yes, they've told me there's 20 on here. I've had a look, there's 20. So I'm going to slide my button to the right to say yes. It's going to ask me then to confirm the license plate number. So I'm going to say yes as well, that's correct. I've actually set this up so that the next step will go straight to the put away, but we could have set it up for it to also ask us to check the batch information, the expiry dates, etc., anything else that had been entered. So now it's asking me to deliver it to the put location. So this is using our location directives that are set up in the background to say that this item needs to be put into location 1, and it has recognised our batch number that we entered as it's listed down on here. So all I need to do is say, yes, I'm going to put this away. I've carried it over to this location and we're good. and the system tells us that it's put away, and it's as simple as that. The main things that are needed for this are for the supplier to be accurate in creating the pallet labels, so that's the main thing, but it does remove all of the need to provide the information ahead of time. So some businesses are finding that this is a much more efficient process, particularly in the run-up to delivery, to help minimise the amount of admin that we have. So that's why we particularly like GS1 barcodes.
Be adaptable, be smart, be fast. The factory of the future will help you differentiate your company from the competition. The technology is ready. Are you?